Welcome to Review Rewind, the show where a couple of friends watch movies of old and aim to figure out if the reviewers were spot on or a little off. I'm Mike.
And I'm Tristan.
And this week we're talking about... Wait, no. I completely blanked.
This one's different. They changed it on us.
Well, I was doing Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Batman Forever. Batman
Forever.
Which...
Forever.
I think this one... The first one was Prince. Did they really have any, like, songs and stuff?
In the second one?
In the second one?
Not that I remember.
I know we didn't talk about it. We just talked about Danny. Oh, Danny. Oh, Danny boy.
Donnie.
Oh, Donnie. Hey, Tristan, what's your bright spot?
Hey, I got to go to the beach this weekend, which is like first
Beachin'
time of the year. So that was fun. And then got to just kind of explore around town, do some things that I don't normally do, get some delicious acai bowls, you know. Just had a good summer weekend.
I thought you were about to admit that you like ate sand.
Yeah, I ate sand.
Yeah.
Don't we all just eat sand a little bit every day? Maybe not every day.
No. All right, let's hold on.
What's your bright spot?
That I you know what? I'm gonna make it real easy. I really am enjoying hot honey. I like hot honey. And we were out for a little while and I just replenished and I got a different brand and it's good. It's good. It's yummy.
Well, hot honey.
So we're talking about Batman Forever.
Yes, we are.
I'm already distracted. This is the first one that changed directors. So we got Joel Schumacher, who had done, who kind of had his own cult following. I know him for a lot of stuff after this. I didn't really like connect the dots for prior to this. And if you kind of look at some of it, he did St. Elmo's Fire, The Lost Boys, Flatliners, Dying Young, Falling Down. He did a lot of music videos, oddly enough. He also did The Client, which was right before this. So, like, a lot of movies that have decent recognition, if not now, certainly back then. And then after the fact, he did A Time to Kill. Sadly, Batman and Robin. I'm sure we'll talk about that again. 8mm, Bad Company, Phone Booth, and then he did The Phantom of the Opera, The Number 23. So he really doesn't have like one genre.
No, but Batman does feel a little left field for him, right?
I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't know if it does. How about this? When they were trying to figure out who is going to replace Tim Burton to do Batman, and then you think of The Lost Boys, that aesthetic is very similar. I think The Lost Boys has a lot of I
guess that's true.
The 80s vibe to it, but it does have, dark teenage kind of it's not very Tim Burton, but I feel like you could somehow line them up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I guess that's right.
Anyway. Anywho, we also got producer. Holy crap. Peter Macgregor-Scott. Peter Macgregor-Scott. Tim Burton. Screenwriters. Bob Kane, Bill Finger. Creators. Lee Batchler, Akiva Goldsman, and Jeanette Scott Batchler. So I'm assuming maybe they're a duo.
Oh, Lee and Jeanette.
Yeah. Hey, you know what though? We're going to talk about it for sure. The women certainly were written differently in this.
Yep.
And now looking at the this, it's like, they had a woman writing on it. Maybe there's hope. And then you watch the whole thing and you're like, maybe there's hope. I don't know. Anyway,
those two have not written a lot together.
No.
Just saying.
I wonder if they're married or if it's just related.
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I said it like that, and I apologize.
Marriage. Warner Brothers. Produced by Warner Brothers and PolyGram Film Entertainment. PG-13. Action, adventure, fantasy. English. June 16th, 1995. This felt like, even though it creeps into October, this one felt more like a summer blockbuster. Budget $100 million. Grossed in the U.S. $184 million. Gross worldwide $336 million. And I have to say, that's what we have on those numbers, but also home movie sales and merchandise sales. I feel like they probably made a lot, because I remember this one being the bigger one for action figures and stuff like that, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but I'm sure they made more. Starring Val Kilmer, Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey, Nicole Kidman, Chris O'Donnell, Michael Gough, and Pat Hingle. Man, that Pat Hingle.
Pat Hingle, he's still there.
Keep getting them credits, you know. What you gonna do with all that Hingle? That's right. Now we transition to a segment we like to call the Recap Rewind, where we rewind and recap the film of the week. This week, it is Tristan's job. Hi, Tristan.
Oh, it's me. Hi.
It's you. Have fun. Bye.
I'm the problem. It's me. Okay. Are you ready? Because I'm totally going to read it right now. Okay.
All right. You're ready? I'm ready. You're ready.
Sorry.
Wow.
We hyped it up.
Yeah.
Our film opens on a flashy bank heist orchestrated by Harvey Dent, a.k.a. Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones, a former district attorney played by Billy D. Williams, turned villain after acid scarring left him with a split personality. This time, the turn to evil literally made him white. Obsessed with the duality and chance, Two-Face flips a coin to decide the fate of his victims, meting out chaotic justice. Batman, Val Kilmer, responds to the crime in full superhero flair, arriving in the Batmobile and chasing Two-Face into a trap. Two-Face's trap. Two-Face nearly kills Batman as he traps him in a vault that starts to fill with the same boiling acid that scarred his face.
There's There's boiling acid.
The vault suspended from a helicopter, but Batman escapes using his usual ingenuity while saving a very weird security guard.
You'd think his utility belt would have something like a hearing aid, so that he didn't have to borrow one.
Maybe this is the one case where he's like, I need that in the future.
Yeah, maybe, you know what, out of the budget. Out of the budget.
Sometimes we need to see how Batman comes up with his ideas for the future tech. Meanwhile, at Wayne Enterprises, eccentric and brilliant scientist Edward Nygma, Jim Carrey, pitches a device that beams TV signals directly into the user's brain. Bruce ultimately rejects the invention on ethical grounds, which Nygma takes very personally. After murdering his supervisor, as one does, and staging it as a suicide, Nygma begins his descent into madness, eventually crafting the persona of the Riddler, a green-suited maniac with a taste for riddles and revenge, obsessed with outwitting Bruce, the man he once idolized. Back at Wayne Manor, Bruce begins seeing psychologist Dr. Chase Meridian, Nicole Kidman, who is more than a little obsessed with Batman. She's intrigued by Bruce, but not yet realizing that he and Batman are one and the same. Their conversations, flirtatious but probing, prompt Bruce to reflect on his past, and he begins grappling with memories of his parents' death, new memories that he had buried, and the trauma that still defines him. He invites her to the circus, where they see the Flying Graysons, a family of acrobats performing their acrobatic thing. I ad-libbed there a little bit. A family of acrobats performing.
It's called a routine.
Thank you. Two-Face crashes the event, demanding Batman reveal himself or everyone dies. Bruce attempts to expose his identity, but the crowd is too loud, muffling his revelation. The Graysons jump into action and try to save everyone, and Dick Grayson, Chris O'Donnell, successfully disposes of a bomb before it detonates. But in the chaos, his family dies, leaving him the sole survivor of the Flying Graysons. Traumatized and furious, Dick is taken to Bruce, who sees a reflection of his own younger self. Frustrated with his inability to eliminate Batman, Two-Face is approached by Nygma. The two form a chaotic alliance. Riddler provides the brains, Two-Face the brute force. With Enigma's new invention, rebranded as the Box, they steal brainwaves from Gotham's population to gain more intelligence, and using that intelligence, more wealth. Using these newfound resources, Nygma opens Nygma Tech and quickly becomes a tech tycoon, copying everything about Bruce down to the mole on his jaw, charming the public while secretly plotting Gotham's downfall. As Dick explores Wayne Manor, he discovers the Batcave and deduces Bruce's secret. Eager for revenge, he begs to become Batman's partner. Bruce resists, not wanting the boy to follow his violent path. But Dick persists. He wants revenge for his family, and he can either do it with Bruce's help or he'll find a way on his own. To celebrate his rise and to further manipulate Gotham's elite, Nygma throws a lavish Nygma Tech launch party, inviting the city's wealthiest, including Bruce Wayne. As guests line up to try the newest version of the box, Nygma zeroes in on Bruce, tricking him into the machine and scanning his brainwave signature to pull out Bruce's secrets, even the deepest secret, that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Bum, bum, bum.
Just then, Two-Face crashes the event with a hail of bullets and chaos, determined to kill Batman then and there. Bruce slips away, changes into his suit mid-party, but the fight goes south quickly. Surrounded and outgunned, Batman is nearly defeated, buried under a pile of sand, until a mysterious figure comes to his rescue. Dick Grayson, masked and reckless, pulls him out of the sand pile. Back at Wayne Manor, Bruce reprimands Dick, but he's more determined than ever to join the fight, and Bruce can no longer ignore the reality that this boy has already started the battle. As Bruce grows closer to Chase and considers a life beyond the mask, the villains strike, destroying the Batcave, kidnapping Chase, and luring Bruce to Nigma's island lair for a final confrontation. Donning a prototype suit, Batman teams up with Robin, now in full costume. They infiltrate the island base, navigate traps, and face down the villains. Robin confronts Two-Face, but chooses not to kill him, sparing his own humanity. Batman reaches the Riddler, who has overloaded himself with brainwaves and is now dangerously unstable. In a final riddle-based showdown, Batman must confront Riddler's ultimate question, the answer balancing on the lives of Chase and Robin. Can Batman and Bruce Batman and Bruce can Batman and Bruce coexist? Like Bilbo in The Hobbit, Batman tricks the Riddler with his own game long enough to distract him. Batman is able to destroy the device, save both Chase and Robin from plummeting to their deaths, and ending Nigma's psychic reign. When Two-Face tries to kill them one last time, Batman uses his coin obsession against him, throwing multiple coins into the air. Two-Face panics, loses his footing, and falls to his death. The city is safe. Riddler, now mentally broken, is locked away in Arkham Asylum, screaming that he knows Batman's identity. But nobody's listening. Bruce reaffirms his identity, not as one man or the other, but as both. He's Bruce Wayne and Batman. With Robin at his side, the dynamic duo leave the Batcave, ready to defend Gotham together.
Excellent.
So much happens in this movie.
Yeah, a lot happens in this movie.
I wrote it and I was like, hold on, there's something missing. And I had to go back a couple of times to make sure I had all of that in the right order.
I had a couple moments in the movie when I was watching it where I'm like, this movie says there's only 30 minutes left. But I'm pretty sure there's 84 things that still need to happen.
Yeah. How are there only 30 minutes left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good recap.
Thanks.
I kind of like sometimes when they're just the straightforward recaps.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, there's so much to cover. And it's we can lean into jokes. We can lean into telling what happened. So yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I loved it. I think there's an understanding that has to be made with Batman as a whole. I don't know. Do I want to make enemies? Sure.
Do it.
The incels and the losers of the internet. A lot of people focus in on the mid to late 80s Batman stuff where it goes super dark and super serious. And the reality is that is a part of Batman, but it's not the whole. Batman has campiness to it. Like, it has an absurdity to it, because the reality is you have this billionaire playboy dressed up like a bat facing an array of honestly ridiculous villains. But done well, the villains have depth to it. And done well, Batman has depth to it. But there also has to be an understanding of, like, this is absurd.
It's a dude dressed as a bat.
Right. And I honestly feel like this movie really embraced the absurdity in a way that even the other films didn't. It just was too filled with stuff. It's overstuffed. And it has too many personalities that are vying for the main stage. And sometimes they're kind of competing against each other to the point where they don't actually help the story. But overall, one, it's fun. It's a really fun movie. Val Kilmer was great. Even Alfred was way more impactful in the story and was much more fun than he had been. I think that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones were great. I just don't know if they were the characters they were portraying. Nicole Kidman, low-key, really worked for the story. Like, her character really worked for the story. Aspects of Chris O'Donnell's character, well, Dick Grayson, worked and aspects didn't, but it wasn't his fault necessarily. I think it was the overstuffedness of the story. And here's what I'll say. I think the overall concept of the movie is a winner. I just don't think it was executed as well as it could have.
Yeah.
So overall, I enjoyed it. I really did. It just has a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think this is obviously we have enjoyed the other two. This one felt like the first one that was like almost comfort watching. Like, it's got just the right amount of camp that, like, the other two have that creepiness that's happening to them. They have this like overtone that is very Tim Burton. This one, it's like, it's campy. It's still like fun. There are some serious things happening, like all of it that's happening, but there's a little bit of it to me that was just like, oh yeah, like Batman's on right now, I'm just gonna chill. Like, it just had that feel a little bit more than the other ones. Right. But I agree. I think this one's really fun. I think I think we do need to acknowledge, based off of the last one, this movie right away tells you what it is. It's just a little bit horny, but there's a character in it that is maybe too horny. Because in the very beginning, we have the montage of Batman suiting up, and it makes a point to just focus on his butt for a shot.
And you know what? We're all grateful for it. Yeah, we're all better for it.
We see that and we're like, okay, this movie's a little bit horny, and that's okay. And then we get to Nicole Kidman, And it's like, okay, there's our super horny character, but like, I think we'll let it pass. But it's like that person's a little too horny, but the movie itself, not too horny. But what I also like about, I've said that word too many times for the first 30 minutes of this podcast. It's okay. It's not YouTube. We're not going to get dinged.
You get dinged for that?
There's certain words. I don't know if horny is one of them, but there's certain words on YouTube that they will.
We're talking about Batman's suit. He's got.
Yeah. But I also appreciate that this movie basically right off the bat tells you, hey, we're leaning into the camp.
Right.
Because the very first lines spoken are, "Sir, can I convince you to take a sandwich?" And he says, "No, I'll get drive-through." Those are the first lines of this movie. But overall, I think, like, I know we usually talk about this as a character, but Gotham feels like actually like there's something there.
It's a city.
It feels like a living city.
Yeah.
And it feels also like the city that we've heard described before, of like there's crime happening all over the place. Like we actually get to see that happening a little bit more, and it's not just the same set every time.
Right.
We see different parts of the city throughout, which makes it feel bigger. It makes it feel more alive. I think the gadgets are a lot cooler in this one.
Yeah.
We get to see them enough to be like, oh, it's that gadget. But it doesn't feel like it's slowing down necessarily to show us that.
Yeah.
I think the suit,
it's hot.
It looks better. Like he's got a little bit more movement. It doesn't look as chunky. Like the old.
I think I remember Schumacher saying somewhere in an interview talking about like using Greek sculptures as a reference for some of it. So like the human body is portrayed more within the suit.
Mm-hmm.
So he has like very detailed abs. His muscles are, there.
He's got nipples.
That wasn't until the end.
No, the first suit has nipples. The last suit doesn't have nipples.
Says you. But yeah, so like the suit, marking on the suit. The suit, it doesn't look as tactical, but it looks more functional than any of the previous renditions of it.
Yeah, it looked more
He
movable.
looks like, protected, but he also looks like he isn't a statue.
Yeah. This Batmobile is cool, but I think I like the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
I was gonna say this one is cool, but the design lacks because you see it too much. I think if you didn't see it as much, because there's the scene where Dick is driving it and it like turns a corner and then two of the bat wings that are in the back like bounce around, so you can kind of see that it's like kind of, it's not a real Batmobile. It's a regular car with like cosmetic top.
Yeah. And I think this one, it definitely feels like they're leaning into the merchandising more for this one.
It's a little too upfront, a little too je ne sais quoi, like just like not upfront, but like unabashingly capitalistic.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we made a new version and it lights up.
This is definitely going to be a toy.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I think I definitely agree with what you were saying of like the content of what this story was trying to tell is really good.
It's so good. It might be the best.
And it deserves like it deserves to be told in the best way possible. And this movie didn't do it, but it's like they try to put too many characters in, yet all of those characters feel important to the story that they're trying to tell. And we'll get into that as we start like looking at the characters and everything. But I think like if you're introducing a sidekick, you need to get rid of a villain.
Right.
If you're having two villains, you need to not focus on having a sidekick.
Right.
If you're going to dive deeper into the psyche of Bruce Wayne and Batman, you need to cut back on something. So having all of those in there, yeah, it felt full. It felt like we didn't get enough time with any one thing, and so all of it felt lacking. So yeah, it's just like, it's interesting.
I think it's too that you're giving some of the reoccurring characters a little more weight in the story. So you have to balance that. So last movie we had 3 villains. Penguin, Shrek, Catwoman. Alfred,
sorry,
Max Shrek, Donkey. Alfred was more involved, but he still, like, there was no development of him.
Right.
This one had him as like a catalyst for several things. He was the wise older character, and he was used as such, which was great for him. But there was so much to develop with Riddler and Two-Face that it almost felt like those little things that were really important to the story are then being overlooked for this overstuffing of what we're doing with Two-Face and Riddler. You know what I mean? I think too, like, Dr. Chase Meridian, like, her role in the story was really important, and it was really good to develop her character throughout, which they did a decent job. But again, it then just feels like overstuffed because of all the other stuff they're trying to fit into it. If they would have cut some of the Riddler and Two-Face stuff and focused more on like Bruce and that world, I think they had an opportunity to do something really, really good. But I think because it was Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, there was I doubt it was like a contract, but there was like probably an effort to put them on the screen more than you probably typically would. Because at this point in time, 1995, Jim Carrey was the biggest star in the world.
Right.
And even Tommy Lee Jones had some really prominent big roles. One we had just watched. And so both of them huge. And Val Kilmer, I don't actually think was maybe as big as either one of them. Top Gun was super big. Like he did really, really big movies, but at the same time, I kind of think, I don't know, maybe I'm a little wrong about it. Let me see where he's at. Because in the 80s, he had a lot of movies that he was kind of big in. Top Secret was his start. Top Gun, Willow. He was in The Doors. He played Jim Morrison in The Doors. He was in True Romance. Oh, Tombstone was before this. But I don't know if that would have put him up front. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even the movies he was the star in, I don't know if those were necessarily the biggest movies. Like, Top Secret was a comedy, a cult classic, but I don't know if it was, like, the biggest movie. Top Gun, he wasn't the main star. I don't remember Willow.
Didn't you say you haven't seen it?
I think yeah, probably. Like, it looks familiar sometimes. Is he essentially the Aragon of that movie?
Sort of, yeah.
Like, he's a focal point, but he's not the main person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's just find some fantasies to talk about. Of course, Jim Morrison's the main character in The Doors. He was the co-star in Tombstone. Yeah, this one is like one of the first really, really big budget movies that he is the starring in.
Mm.
And maybe it's weird to say this, I feel like they undercut him a bit. I also think they just were trying to fit as many like people into this movie as possible.
Yeah, it kind of felt like there were characters that in other movies would not have gotten as much screen time, got more screen time in this. We definitely got more Batman Bruce Wayne.
Right.
But you know what else it might have been? It could have been that they tried to fit in too many, like they couldn't let it be too slow. And so it's
just
like,
go.
We have to put something in that's exciting. We have to put something in that's exciting. And then.
Yeah, maybe there's something there because it did feel as though every scene had to have that kind of, yeah, every scene had to have something big in it.
The moments that are the like, let's have a conversation, they didn't last long.
No,
it was like,
Bruce when the pace slows down, it slows down quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you were saying?
Oh, I was gonna say like when Bruce yells at Dick, being like, "Hey, you can't do this. What are you doing?" Mm-hmm. Like, it's a really good scene, but it happens so quickly, and then it's over. Where, like, that's the type of thing where probably in a more modern take on this movie, you would have had more time spent on them arguing and more of that dynamic between them.
Yeah, I think I get your point.
And probably the action scenes would be grander, so that you could have those slower moments where this one was like a bunch of quick and fast, bright colors, loud sounds, things happening, but they happen at a pretty even pace throughout the movie.
Right.
I think maybe we could have lost a couple of those to gain a little bit more of that development that was lacking.
Right. Alrighty. Let's try to gather ourselves here. So, Gotham City, much bigger. What did you think of the visuals overall?
They're interesting. It still feels a little chaotic, but in a different way. Like there's a lot more color than there was in the first one and even the second one. It still has a similar silhouette to the buildings almost, but in a more colorful yet dark way. The building shapes from like street level don't really make sense. They're kind of,
that might be the CGI.
maybe it's the CGI or just like the set design, but it was like, if you look at the buildings in the background, they don't really make sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe there was something about that I couldn't really put my finger on, but the streets felt like streets.
Mm-hmm.
The alleys felt like alleys. Each building they were inside of felt like a different building, a new world. Like there was no repeats of anything.
Yeah, it didn't feel like we just kept coming back to the same like staircase
right.
for everything.
Where Batman Returns might be trekking into like neo-gothic, this treks into neon gothic. Like it's like gothic, but it's like there's so much neon happening throughout the film, which honestly, this movie probably, outside of I'm Mexican American and grew up in Cholo Chicano culture, my aesthetic is very much this movie. Like it's lots of dark colors, lots of black, but then also just like if there's a color, it's going to be the brightest color in the world.
Super bright, yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of love it. I don't know if it's, so here's where I'll say, I think that might be a Joel Schumacher thing of like super contrast, like the scene in the alley where everything is like black light. I loved it. I love that.
That's a cool, I
that
like
whole thing looked awesome. Not everything needed to be that way. And I put it in this way, not everything tells the story that way. So that kind of aesthetic doesn't tell every story that way. And because it was so prolific throughout, or so prominent throughout the film, when you had moments where it wasn't there, it almost made it boring. So rather than being a like an ornamentation or a sprinkle of something, it was like it was almost like you have a line of Christmas lights, and those scenes where it goes to normal, there's a Christmas light out. You know what I mean? Like it's still there, it's still bright, it still does the job, but with that one Christmas light, it just like grabs your attention. It's kind of like, oh, you know, like so when they had stuff in Wayne Manor, all of it just kind of felt like visually very boring, even though it's this very big, elaborate, mansion that should be interesting. It just wasn't. And I think it was because there's so much color in some of the other scenes. And, I don't know, maybe with the Lost Boys, I don't really know Joel Schumacher that well. But like, there's almost like this punk rock aesthetic. And so that is so prevalent throughout all of Gotham. And then those moments where it's not, you're like, well, ew.
Yeah. I think if they had balanced that, I think there is a way to balance that, to make almost everything have that normal look.
Yeah.
And then have those very specific moments. I mean, thinking back to some imagery from like the cartoons and different things of like Gotham itself doesn't have a lot going on, but then when you go to the Joker's lair, there's all the colors and the lights and the weird things. And
it
so
should
if they
be
had
specific
done that sort
to
of
that.
thing,
Yeah.
Like instead of having red uplight on the sides of buildings.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and then too, it was confusing, I guess you could say, because the circus is supposed to be a touring circus, but somehow they have the exact same aesthetic as the rest of Gotham City.
Yeah.
And, that's where some of that kind of, it's too much. They could have gone a different direction with that, and it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, the visual choices are awesome. It's just not all of it tells the story maybe the way we would hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the editing was a little weird in this one. There's like the fight scenes were almost cool, but then there were like too many cuts.
Yeah.
Like it cut away from the action almost.
Let's put it in terms of the fight choreography leaps and bounds beyond both the first two movies. The fight choreography was great. It was fantastic. How they cut it into the movie was lacking.
Yeah.
Because there's so much potential there. And I would say even outside of the fight choreography, the editing is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know if that's a director choice or editing, whatever it might be. I do like this movie is very dated in the camera techniques and angles and different things that they were doing. It felt visually, as far as like camera angles, like an 80s movie. But the technology was there that it felt farther ahead than any 80s movie. Like there was clarity to it. Again, the colors, everything, even though it was a very dark movie, it was still very bright. The special effects, all that stuff. But it felt visually, at least cinematography wise, like an 80s movie. And I kind of liked it. I kind of like the weird angles. I kind of like, seeing the movie from a perspective that maybe you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
But I will say the editing is kind of bad throughout the whole film. Like it's not a well edited movie.
No. Yeah. For example of kind of what you're talking about, at the beginning when Two-Face is at the top of the bank and the crowd and police are down below, all of those shots of the crowd are at these canted angles. So it's not like just straight on, but it's kind of this weird. And when that happens, it's telling the audience to be disoriented a little bit.
Right.
So those are really interesting shots that were done.
Yeah. Which I love those shots.
Yeah.
But how they're cut together sometimes.
The pacing of the cuts were weird.
And maybe let's put it like this. There's a technique there's something that those techniques are trying to bring about to the audience, but if they're not edited correctly, they don't do it.
Right.
And so we've watched enough movies that we can see that and go, oh, I see what you're trying to do as far as like make the audience see these angles and draw attention to it, make you feel low, high, whatever it might be. But how it's edited, sometimes you're like, so what direction am I supposed to be? Where's my attention supposed to go? Because I'm not following this.
Yeah.
And even some shots feel incomplete. This movie had moments where it just felt incomplete in some instances. Like in the beginning, the helicopter scene, when Two-Face and his crony are in the helicopter, it feels like something's missing from it. Visually, whether it's the lights, whatever it might be. I think they're trying to, it's just a cockpit in a studio somewhere. It's not a real helicopter.
Yeah.
But they didn't make enough happen visually to take you out of that. It still just felt like a cockpit in a studio. And that's what I mean by incomplete. There's moments throughout the movie where some of it just feels incomplete.
Yeah. This one felt like they leaned on green screen a little bit more than, or blue screen, don't know which one they use, but that technology a little bit more than previous ones. Like just like rooftop scenes that happened.
Right.
It was just like, oh, that's definitely a green screen instead of hey, they put up a facade that looks like they're on a roof, which was interesting and neither a plus nor a negative, just something that I noticed. this is kind of related to Gotham as the character, but they introduced basically all of the pieces very quickly in this one.
Yeah.
Where in both of the Tim Burton movies, it's slow to introduce the villain. It's slow to introduce Batman. It's slow to introduce the love interest.
Oh, maybe
this one was
maybe.
like right away. You see Batman getting into out his uniform. You see Two-Face is robbing a bank. On the ground, you see Commissioner Gordon talking to Chase. And like there's immediate introduction of who Chase is and how she's related to this whole thing. And it's just like very quickly introducing all of these things. She's immediately very flirtatious with Batman. So you're like, okay, she's the love interest, got that. And then it cuts to the
next
origin of Enigma.
Right.
Or Ed. Yeah.
And that's the next scene. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of fast. And maybe that's why it feels really packed. I don't know if overstuffed. It just feels really packed tight, full of content because, yeah, you're introduced to everyone almost immediately. And then it's like, go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let the story happen.
Yeah. So, Mike, you and I were talking about this probably off mic before, but there is the Schumacher cut of this that has more scenes there's more stuff for Two-Face at the beginning of introducing his character and everything. I can see why Warner Brothers didn't want to keep that in the theatrical cut, because this gets you right into it, gets you into it fast. And that's what people are looking for. This one definitely leaned more toward the younger audience than the Burton ones did.
And it seems as though the things they did cut were the things that made this a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure seeing the theatrical cut makes you go, this movie was dark. It's like, yes, in fact, it did have that potential.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Slightly moving on because we got a lot to talk about. Or did you have something you really wanted to add?
No, let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling. So, music. I did want to talk about the music. One, outside of Prince, this is the first one that had like artist, like an artist soundtrack. At least I think, where it had music from like different artists within it.
Mm-hmm. There's Seal's "Kiss from a Rose."
Da, 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 da.
Did it actually happen in the movie, or was it just
no?
In the credits?
It did not. But "Smash It Up" by The Offspring was in it. That one was in it. Do you know who did the song for the Riddler?
No.
Method Man. I don't think I even know what this song is, honestly. Let's have a moment, shall we? Because I honestly I don't know if I've ever heard this. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh no. What an idiot. What? No. Play it.
Just hit
the play button, you idiot.
Dead crosswords puzzling yourself.
I have never heard that. And that is the theme for the Riddler, I guess. The song for the Riddler.
So this is in the era, and I feel like we don't get this as much, is along with all the merchandising of like toys and all of that, there was also this time in movies where they would make like albums that wasn't just the soundtrack, but it was
songs
music,
based on the
songs made for the movie. And there's a whole album of them.
Right. Is this
they almost never actually showed up in the film, maybe sometimes in the credits.
Right. Hold on. Yeah. This is the song where the Riddler's trying to figure out what he's going to do. So this is Bad Days by the Flaming Lips. I will say, one, did not know the lyrics to that song. Like, I never paid attention to it. Let's see. Yeah, it's right here. I never paid attention to that line until this time around. I was like, holy shit. But I will say that song in particular built a lot of my music aesthetic and how I like process music. Just like the chords aren't necessarily weird, but they're being played in a weird way. And his voice isn't like super strong, but it is very unique and it's kind of telling the story. And then now thinking about it, the lyrics really are like interesting. And me myself built kind of like a music aesthetic around those kind of qualities. And now I have to think back and go, oh, because it's 1995 Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever that did it. I don't know if they have the actual music from it. I think I saw a cover for it. Hold on.
So usually
this is how the sausage gets made, everyone.
The original motion picture soundtrack
no.
Who was it that Elliot Goldenthal did the music this time, and I think he did a good job of like taking what Danny Elfman had done previously, and it felt like it was within the same family of music.
Here's the thing that I'm gonna say about this, and I'm gonna get a lot of haters. The haterades. I kind of like his version of it a little more.
Yeah,
there's something about it that is just, let's see. Oh, that's playing through. That's not. Oh, fudge. Hold on, I want to make sure you all hear what I hear. All right. Because I think that's a slightly different theme.
it is.
This feels kind of like that right there. The French horns right here. Dude, I hear that in my dreams, like that French horn sound. He just he just does a really good job of bringing out epic sounds. Like everything felt epic. The Two-Face theme is really interesting. Bum, bottom, 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 bottom. Everyone's theme was very distinct. And I liked his use of the French horns. Like he just really used it a lot more than maybe we had heard previously. I kind of like the soundtrack more, honestly.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like what I like it too. And like what I was saying before of, it just feels like the evolution of what Danny Elfman did.
Right.
It's still like, if you heard that next to him, you're like, yeah, this is the same character. This is the same thing that we're experiencing. And so they kept that sound, but in a new way. And it's,
if you took Danny Elfman and took away the Scott influence, that's it. This is it. Because like, there's not really a lot of like the oompa 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 oompa, hardly at all. And I love that, but it just like, this just really, really works. And I just really like it. And I just wanted to say that this is probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all Batman movies. I think this is the strongest. And I don't care if you don't think so. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get into the characters. And apparently I went to some random screen. There we go. Okay. So, Val Kilmer, Batman Bruce Wayne. I think he was really good.
Good. I used to, in my mind, used to give him a hard time.
I think he's strong, man. His Bruce Wayne is fantastic. So let's talk about it in scope of our Bruce Wayne, Batman. Bruce.
And we actually get all three.
We actually get all three, and they're superior to the prior. I'm sorry. Like, Bruce has so much feeling happening, so much trauma that he's getting through. My biggest issue with this story is Bruce. Bruce is my biggest issue with this story, because I think we read it from the original cut of, the reason it's called Batman Forever is because his story arc, his whole story arc is he is becoming disillusioned with the idea of being Batman. That's not in this movie. The disillusionment, there's never a point that happens. We just get to this place where he's struggling with his parents, with the idea of his parents. It's like, you're dealing with trauma. Let's deal with that trauma.
Yeah.
But it's never connected to being Batman. It's just trauma.
Yeah. How the theatrical cut balances the choice of being Bruce or being Batman is solely on who Chase chooses to be with.
Right. Which the idea is so good.
Yeah.
That concept of being disillusioned with this life that you've had for so long, where you've created this ethos of, fighting crime, whatever. They never connected it to, like, his failure was Two-Face. Two-Face blames Batman. Batman never takes responsibility for Two-Face until like the end. It's not something he struggles with. So if that had been a conversation in the beginning of the film, of Batman going like, I failed you, I'm sorry, and then Two-Face not taking it because he's crazy. Cool. Then he could have had that conversation with Alfred, and it's like, my failures create the chaos that we struggle through. Is it my fault that we have the Riddler, that we have Two-Face, that we had Cat? Are these my fault? He never struggles with that. I think that's the struggle he's supposed to have, but they never show it. So we just have these moments where he's struggling with the loss of his parents and actually processing it for the first time, which is a great story. That in itself is a great story, but it is never connected to the duality of Bruce and Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of this conversation is going to start dealing with other characters as well, because of how important they are to the story that's being told of Bruce and Batman.
Which that's fine.
But like, this movie really, the story that they were trying to tell deserved a better story of Two-Face, because we don't really get, like, I do like the fact that they just introduced a character who had already been around, and like, hey, it's this villain that Batman has dealt with before.
There isn't necessarily an origin story per se,
but they didn't focus enough on the fact of like, Batman or Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent were friends.
Yeah,
they relied
on each
other.
You never really get that feeling at all.
There is one line at the end of the movie where Two-Face says like, oh, you've always been a good friend or something. And it's like, that comes out of nowhere because we lose that entire relationship. And that should have been like the biggest thing that he was struggling with the entire time, of like, Two-Face is back. He used to be my friend. He's turned into this villain. There's still part of him in there that I know. And like, that's part of his struggle that's going on. Right. And we don't really get that in this.
No, not at all.
And similarly, like you were saying, he should be dealing with the fact of, he's the one who told Ed no for the project. And now Ed has gone and killed somebody and is like gone off the deep end. All because Bruce told him no.
Well, and I think so that like I think that one they could have tied in is because he said no, he rushed through it because of the bat signal. And had he not, wait, is that what happened?
Yeah, the bat signal goes off and he's like, oh, I have to go.
Right. And he's like, I need an answer now. And he's like, then no. And if he would have had like a moment with Alfred, and it was like, if it wasn't for Batman, we could have
avoided this. Yeah.
I could have spent time with him and really tried to figure it out. Which, like, Edward Nygma is not his fault.
No.
It's not Bruce Wayne's fault. Honestly, it's Ed Begley Jr. Whatever his manager's name was, one, I do not think his workspace was particularly conducive to whatever they're trying to do. It seemed very chaotic.
Not very often do you have the technology lab on the top floor.
I know.
Of a building.
Yeah, that was all over the place. Either way, not his fault, but he could have struggled through it a bit. But he doesn't. Because he doesn't figure it out until the end of the movie. And it feels like it takes him way too long to figure out that it's Edward Nygma. Not for a lack of trying, I guess. I just think maybe like distracted by Two-Face, didn't even think of like Edward Nygma as because it was so brisk, it was so quick. Like, their interaction. Why would he gather that from even with everything? It just feels, I don't know. Anyway, too much on that. So Bruce, like, Val Kilmer did really good with Bruce. He was just written poorly. Bruce was written poorly. His motivation, everything. 2, Bruce Wayne. So good. So good. He's a business guy. He seems to know exactly what he's talking about. When he's in the limelight, he is the center of attention. He still kind of has that little bit of awkwardness with Chase, like with a woman, but he seems more in control.
Yeah, his awkwardness was more on the situation than just talking to a woman, because like he breaks down her door because he thinks she's in trouble. It turns out she's not in trouble, and then he's like, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as he kind of regains his composure,
then he sets himself up. Yeah.
Then he's back into super charming Bruce Wayne, and like he is always has a little bit of that mystery about him,
right?
But the way that he interacted with her or interacted with other people felt like the right amount of confidence.
Yep. Yeah. Loved it. It was good. And Batman. So good. It was great. It was great. He was smart talking, as in he had humor to him, which I think Batman does need. He was clearly just the smartest person in the room always. His detective skills felt good. They were very small, few and far between, but like they felt good when they happened.
And he felt smart.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need a smart Batman. You can't have a dum-dum.
Yeah. I mean, even like all of him encompassed felt smart. Like when he was Bruce Wayne talking to Ed, it felt like he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And Ed was like, this is my invention. And he's like, oh, so it sounds like you're doing blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yeah.
You're just jealous because you didn't think of it.
Yeah. The whole time we had a smart Batman.
Yes.
Which was great.
Finally.
Yeah.
And we'll see how long that lasts.
I really liked he had emotional range. For the most part, he's he's not necessarily monotone, but he's very just
he's
like
stoic.
On one level.
Yeah.
And that's who Batman is. That's who Bruce Wayne, like that's what we see. But when he's mad at Dick for like suiting
he's
up
emoting.
And going after, like that felt right.
Yeah.
The yell felt like it was coming from a good place. It didn't feel like Michael Keaton's "You want to get nuts?" Like that felt totally out of place for the character. This felt right.
It's the thing of Val Kilmer's a really good actor, and you put him in a situation, he's going to do a pretty good job, and he did that. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He said the smart things with a mode of understanding that felt real. Like you didn't hear it and go, that guy's acting. You heard it and you went, that guy knows what he's talking about, which is good acting. I also liked the difference between his Bruce Wayne voice and his Batman voice. Like there was a distinct change, and there should be, and it actually kind of sounded different.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like the same person. It didn't just feel like I talk like this. It felt like he gave it more bass, but he also gave it more like command when he spoke as Batman.
It came a little bit more from the diaphragm.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. Now we have Bruce Wayne, Batman, and then Smart Batman. We'll see how long that Smart Batman stays in there.
Smart Batman.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee. Go for it.
Sorry, real quick. the ways that each major character in the story influences how Batman is dealing, or Bruce is dealing with all of these elements.
Right.
And like he's dealing with the duality of Bruce Wayne and Batman. You have three different characters in Two-Face, the Riddler, and Robin, who are all kind of dealing with a similar thing and choosing the different paths.
Right.
With Robin being the like, hey, you can go down this path or you can go down this path. And so it's just an interesting how all of those characters are important to what we're seeing Batman go through.
Right.
Anyway, Tommy Lee Jones,
Harvey Two-Face, and Jim Carrey as the Riddler. We're going to talk about them both at the same time because I think this is going to be my point. One, both of them did good jobs. Tommy Lee Jones did a great job acting. Jim Carrey did a great job acting. For Riddler, I think Jim Carrey came out too much in the character. Now, here is my point for both of them. And we'll see how you feel about this. They are not playing their characters. But they are both good villains. If you had given them any other name, I almost think this would have worked even better. But because it's Two-Face and the Riddler, two iconic characters, Two-Face has very strict rules about him. He is a dichotomy, and they have to butt against each other. And in this, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't ever butt against each other. It's crazy Two-Face or just slightly less crazy Two-Face, but it's always crazy Two-Face.
Yeah, it's crazy Two-Face or Two-Face who's disappointed that he can't be crazy Two-Face.
Right. And then the Riddler is Jim Carrey, who is a dick about stupid people or something. Like Riddler to me is his entire psyche is tied to the ability to be not only the smartest person in the room, but to outwit the smartest person in the room. And that shows sometimes, and his journey for intelligence, like that works. But I don't really get the riddle, like the riddle part of it. That feels like a slight add-on each time.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a secondary thought of like, oh, we should probably have a riddle for this. My understanding is like the crimes are riddles, not just the riddle left at the crime scene.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
So here was my take while watching this is like, I've heard people reference that Tommy Lee Jones doing Two-Face leaned a little bit more Joker.
Yeah. I've heard that.
The one argument that I would make for the Riddler is maybe he would have worked better if he was the Mad Hatter. He's literally putting something on somebody's head and brainwashing.
He would have been a great Mad Hatter because you can kind of play it any way you want at that point. He's just mad. He's just crazy. Yeah. I mean, you do. There would have been a way to lock in these, the Alice in Wonderland references because you could still do that with the riddles. The riddles borderline did feel kind of like Alice in Wonderland kind of riddles and how they did it. And
the Mad Hatter
actually that would have been really good
in riddles and rhyme and like this kind of weird way of speaking.
Oh shoot! He should have been the Mad Hatter,
and they would have been a lot easier to have that, like you said, have that Alice in Wonderland influence of like he's got posters or books or whatever, and he's like, oh, that's the character that I'll take. It didn't make sense for him to take on the persona of the Riddler because that character existed already in this world. He had the question marks everywhere. He had a little bobblehead of the Riddler,
right?
Which didn't make any sense.
No,
he had the fortune teller thing that was already in the suit. Like that did not make any sense. If it was if he had a lot of Alice in Wonderland things, and he was the Mad Hatter, and he was putting things on people's heads to.
The box makes more sense as like a Mad Hatter gadget.
Sense.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a crazy person they could have put Tommy Lee Jones as.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could have picked anyone, honestly. Zeus would have worked. Amadeus, or I forget his exact name. But I'm trying to think of all the wacky characters that there are. I think if there was more of a dichotomy between like Harvey Dent and Two-Face, maybe it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just Two-Face. It was just the crazy guy the whole time. Like Joker, yeah, I get that. I get the idea that that's what he was trying to be, especially with how much he was like laughing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mad Hatter and the Joker, that would have worked. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know who. Replacing who Tommy Lee Jones, the version that he played here as someone else, I think is a little bit harder to do. Like, this is the perfect match for that.
Right.
But if they had done something of like Mad Hatter and Clayface or something like that, that would have been an interesting dynamic that I think they still could have kept.
Right. If they would have done like Mad Hatter and like Hugo Strange or something, because Hugo Strange is crazy. He's very crazy. And then he just pretends to be normal, but he's out of his mind.
He's out of it. Did I say Two-Face or did I say Clayface? I don't remember what I said. Should have been Clayface.
Could have worked as Scarecrow too.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. There's so many characters in this world that are psychologically broken.
Actually... Well, because, like, the thing about his character is, he's supposed to be this mob leader kind of guy, how they have him in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like the head of this syndicate. I don't know if Black Mask wasn't that crazy. But... Oh, God dang, Mad Hatter, that would have been really good. You know who we could have played, and it would have been a hoot to watch him play? The ventriloquist.
Yeah, I was just thinking
that would have worked so good.
Ventriloquist would have been.
That would have been really good. Anyway, so I think the biggest observation is they're both great villains. Their role in it works really well. I just don't know if they're the characters that they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is its own, issue within the story. Like how we look at the movie, whether that lowers the movie or doesn't lower the movie. Like if you watch this movie again and don't think of Jim Carrey as the Riddler or Harvey as Two-Face, or sorry, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, I feel like it's a little bit of a different movie, but we don't really get that because they are the Riddler and Two-Face.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting that not something that I had remembered from previous watchings, but that Ed Nigma starts taking on the persona of Bruce. Like he does his hair to look like Bruce Wayne. He puts the mole on his cheek. Like he does everything to be Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
I think that's a fun. Yeah. Like
that's
already
a great.
Crazy.
I think the Ed Nigma aspect of the story was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Riddler was lacking.
Yeah.
Anything else on those two?
No.
Alrighty. Nicole Kidman, Dr. Chase Meridian. The love interest. Nicole Kidman did a great job, I thought. She acted really well. We're going to say it because she's the woman, but I will say no real camera gaze for how quote unquote horny it was. Like, I mean, she's sleeping naked, wearing her sheet as like a dress, or she's wearing low cut. She's trying to be scantily clad. She's trying to get his attention. Mm-hmm. But it never feels like the camera is doing that for it.
No.
Which is good. That's really good. It's one of those things where this movie
was joking. It's the movie itself is not horny.
No,
it's just that character is super horny.
She wants to like her kink, her fantasy is Batman.
Yeah,
and it is nice that she like quote unquote. She says it. She says sometimes girls got to grow up. You know, whatever. She says it, but she grows up to find that like she can't be chasing after that her whole life. And she grows, and you know, whatever it is she finds with Bruce, one
does she know she gets the best of both worlds.
But she is clearly very smart. Her character's very smart. None of her decisions really are, you know, sometimes you have decisions like in the last movie, Selena Kyle, her decision, sometimes you were like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
This one, I don't think there was one of those.
No, I don't think there was anything that was weird about like, why are you doing what you're doing?
No, it made sense. Like she's trying to get with Batman. Yeah. So she goes up and she turns the bat signal on and he's just like, it is not a toy, you know, kind of thing. Like, gets mad at her or whatever, but she doesn't care. She's like, this is the sport, you know?
Yeah. The only thing that I found a little bit weird, and maybe it's because we didn't get the front half of Harvey's story a little bit more, but the movie starts with him robbing the bank. And when Bruce is talking to Commissioner Gordon and he's like, oh, this is Dr. Chase Meridian. I brought her in on this case for blah, 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 blah. From out of town. She's come from out of town.
Right.
For this case that's literally happening right now.
Right.
So how did that happen?
That doesn't work.
I think if they had
they just said she is the new psych, or the what's it called? What's it called when they look at a file and they try to they figure out the psychological detail, a profiler.
Yeah.
If they would have been like, this is Gotham's new profiler, she has, you know, a great resume. Cool. Yeah, that works. That makes sense. You're right. It was like, this is literally just happening now. I flew her in from out of town. God, my arms are tired. Yeah, you're right. I didn't connect the dots with that one. But she's very knowledgeable. She's very strong in like the best strong ways possible. She doesn't need Bruce. She doesn't need Batman in the way that like someone needs it to, you know, whatever. It is, she has kind of reached the pinnacle of her study. And she's just got infatuated with this thing that is genuinely, like, depending on who you are, could be very enticing to get obsessed with. And she's just on the hunt, really. Like, she's just on the hunt. That's all it really is. I liked her. She was very attractive and very strong and sexual, but the camera really never did anything with it. It was just, that's the aura she gave off. It helps that one, you have a female who's writing some of this, and then two, not to assume too much, but Joel Schumacher's gay. So, you know, he doesn't have, I assume he could have, I don't know, but he didn't really have that eye for the camera to over sexualize her. it was the character bringing out that aspect, not the camera, which is great. It's super good. I had a crush on her when I was that age. I don't know. When I first watched it, it's hot. Anyway, and I never thought anything they did was particularly forced. The relationship stuff between her and Bruce. The only point that it got forced, I guess, is, no, you know what? No, it wasn't. I was going to say right when, like, before Batman meets her, to the point where you're like, oh, she has feelings for Bruce. But she gave him that dream catcher and was kind of very empathetic to him. So it seemed as though she was already starting to embrace him as someone she could care for.
Yeah.
So, no, it really wasn't forced. Oh, there was one thing that felt weird. One moment that felt super weird, which was when Bruce is going to admit that he's Batman. He has a flashback of his parents' death, and he says, it's happening again. And she's like, talk it out, all that stuff. And he starts talking, and he goes into great lengths, and then he's about to, like, maybe I'm using the wrong terminology, but it feels like as a character, he's about to heal. He's about to hit that point where he understands what's going on, and he's going to heal from it. And she kisses him. Yeah. And I'm like, this is not a kissy moment.
No,
this is not I didn't see that coming as a thing to do.
Yeah.
But then once she kisses him, she realizes that he's Batman.
Because she's kissed Batman twice.
Ugh. Flusy.
Which ultimately makes her a bad doctor. I know that Bruce was not her patient, but she was like walking him through something to heal, and then she interrupts it. She not only interrupts it, she gets turned on by it to the point that she wants to. And
I guess that's where it was weird, is because it was a very passionate kiss. And so it was very much like, this guy is expressing the deepest of traumas. Why are you trying to make out with him?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You let him like
get it out. Let him express himself.
Let him.
And then when he's ready,
you comfort him a little bit. And then you stare into each other's eyes and then kiss.
Yeah.
You don't get.
You don't interrupt the interrupt the moment. Yeah, that's where it was weird, because I was just like, this situation just doesn't feel correct.
Yeah.
And maybe, honestly, maybe it is that point that you were saying where they just were trying to like rush through things, not have a moment. And that was a moment where it was like, this is a moment where you need space. You need space.
Yeah.
And they just cut through with it. And it was just it made her character seem off to cut through it with that kiss.
That's the type of character behavior that turns you into Harley Quinn.
Not wrong. It's interesting because like Harley Quinn would have only been maybe as a creative property, only about 4 years old by then. So the idea that like that would have been if in Batman and Robin they had Chase Meridian back and she turned into
Harley Quinn.
Oh man, that would have been crazy.
Nicole Kidman would have been a pretty good.
She would have been really good. Like her acting chops are great. I guess I haven't really seen too many movies with Nicole Kidman. But actually, like looking at it for the sake of analyzing it for this, it was like, oh, I believe her character everywhere. Like when she first meets Batman, there's like a campiness to her sexuality.
Yeah.
But I think that's on purpose.
Yeah.
Because she's really trying to drive that attention. Like, she's trying to get that attention. So, like, it's on purpose. It doesn't feel out of place somehow. It's weird. I don't know. But she does a great job. Like, she did that fine when she's doing the fighting exercise and Bruce, like, barges in. Her reaction to that feels really good. Like, she does a great job. Like, Nicole Kidman, A+, good job. All right, Chris O'Donnell as Dick Grayson, Robin. Man, they were trying so hard to fit a sidekick into this, and no guff or anything to Chris O'Donnell. I thought he played a college-age student excellently.
Yeah.
Like, he did that great. The tension, the pent up anger, like all of that stuff, really, really, really good. It just felt forced. Like, almost everything he had was forced.
Yeah, they were really, everything that he said as Robin felt forced.
Yeah.
His journey to becoming Robin.
I thought the connection between him and Alfred was some of the best, like, Alfred work we've had. To the point where everything that he did with Dick then turned into something really powerful with Bruce. Like, how are you, young man? Oh, you haven't called me that in years. Yeah. It's like, you know, some habits die hard or whatever it was. And I thought he did really well. I just think the story didn't really honor him that well.
I think a couple things that were kind of weird is one at the end when Batman is met with the choice of save the woman that you love or save your partner. What was Riddler's plan before then? Because the riddle is, can Batman and Bruce Wayne exist at the same time? But nobody knew that Robin existed until that moment.
And I don't think Bruce or anyone, the city or anything, make a huge hullabaloo about him taking in Dick Grayson either. He was at the party, like the dance shindig. Yeah. And he came in with Bruce, but the newspaper didn't make notice of it. They didn't. They didn't say anything.
And even then, it would be another connection to Bruce Wayne, not the Batman. And so, like, why?
that is a plot hole, huh?
Yeah, it's a interesting thing that I was watching. It's like, wait a second, how do they know to create a trap that
there's
says
a couple
you can be Batman,
there's a couple plot hole things that happen. That's one where it's Riddler suddenly apparently knows the future and knows that Robin is a thing now.
Yeah.
Because he had never had a partner before, unless they're saying news reports are coming in of a younger man using the Batmobile. If that was in the news or something, maybe there was this like rumor that Batman had a partner. But to be so convinced of it to make a evil gotcha trap for it is a little too far-fetched. Because they didn't show him, like, the news didn't, they said that he survived, but they didn't say was saved by his red and green partner Robin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's.
And I think if they had done it in the, like, oh, it looks like you have a new partner, which makes this riddle even more enticing. Like, if they had
drawn attention to that, yeah. The other thing that didn't make sense, particularly with Riddler, is when he first met Two-Face. Why were the boxes already in Two-Face's house?
Wait, what boxes?
The box.
Oh, yeah.
They were just on one of the tables and Riddler like grabbed it and put it where it was supposed to be, but they were already there. He didn't bring them with him. He didn't have a bag.
Yeah.
They were just set out already. So it was like, do you have like a stage team that also came into Two-Face's lair somehow?
Hustled in there. Interesting.
Anyway, Michael Gough, I thought it was Alfred finally had like good lines, felt like a good character. When he gives Robin, at the party, after the party, when he gives Dick the Robin outfit, he's like, I could get fired for this, sir. Maybe they'll take me back at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
There was another line he said that felt, for a lack of a better term, so bitchy. Like it was so catty, and I loved it. But for the life of me, I can't remember. But anyway, I thought he did. I thought they represented him a lot better, made him more integral to the team. Pat Hingle, still the most incompetent commissioner ever. Like, I don't know how this man has a job. He went to go check on the bat signal in his pajamas, a robe, and then his commissioner hat. I don't understand.
Maybe he sleeps there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in the drunk tank, and I saw the thing.
What's happening? Robin, the other thing that I had about him was it is a little bit weird for Bruce to bring in a college student who doesn't need to be adopted.
That was the part that didn't make sense story-wise.
If he was still a high schooler,
right,
then he was like, I'll take him in. But it's like, no, they very much say that he's a college student. If
they would have said, he's 17, he turns 18 in a few months, but he needs to be with an adult, could you? Then it makes a hell of a lot more sense. But you're right. The part where he's like, if I told the cop I would stay here for a little while, I figured that would get him off my back. I think he even says, what's the organization, the government organization that looks at like orphans?
Yeah.
Social. All I'm thinking is social studies, and that's wrong. Social workers. I think he says it'll keep the social worker away. I'm like, if you're 18, you don't need a social worker. You're just on your own, buddy. Like, that part doesn't make sense.
You are an adult now. Yeah.
You're right. That didn't make any sense.
Hey, Drew Barrymore's in this movie.
Okay, I was going to say, Drew Barrymore, Debbie Mazar, Sugar and Spice. And that's another thing of the camera didn't create the gaze, but these are two, like, clearly, like, they are Two-Face's companions, concubines, if you will. They are there primarily for sex, I think. And it's like, it's this weird thing where you can have like a very like sexually driven character without overtly sexualizing them. And I guess it's so amazing that they can do this coming from, 2025, when we think of the movies from like 10 years after this, where they couldn't keep from sexualizing the main woman in the character or any of them. And these are women who are like wearing lingerie as their main mode of transportation for clothes. And they really weren't, like, there was no camera gaze on them. There was no anything. They were really fun. They were fun additions. I liked the manifestation of his dichotomy within like his lovers. Like, I thought that was kind of clever to do it in that way. It felt very comic book. Yeah. Like, that's a very comic book entry. But it was fun. the food they made both sounded disgusting. So, but I did like Drew Sugar's, how she was used to manipulate Bruce. I thought that was done well. You can call me whatever you want. And he was like,
Yeah.
That's really kind of it. Jon Favreau was in it, but he got cut.
Did he fully get cut, or is he like in the background for something?
Let me see, because honestly, I didn't see him, but it doesn't mean that he wasn't. You know what makes it hard too? The first Two-Face scene is like 11 minutes. No, it's like 12 minutes long. Like, it's really long for that that scene. All right.
Here you go. I'm sharing the screen.
Oh yeah, there he is.
When Bruce Wayne is getting his tour through the lab at the beginning, and he's about to be met by Ed. In the background,
yeah, very quickly,
is Jon Favreau.
Ed Begley Jr. He's in it. He was great. He was fun. What a character actor. I don't know if there was anyone else who was like nowadays like a big deal or had been. No, I don't know. The security guard got a big credit, but that's
the bank guard.
Yeah, but I don't know who he is.
He was so. Oh no! Boiling acid.
God,
that
was awful. Bob Kane was apparently a guest somewhere. That's
the first like 15 minutes of this movie are super camp.
It's almost disconnected from the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, but it's disconnected. Alrighty. I think that's it for characters that we need to go through. Now, let us go. I should have a sound effect for it. But I don't. Oh man, this has a lot of quotes. This is a quotable movie. Whether you want it to be or not. Apparently the one that has no votes is when Bruce Wayne quits.
Yeah.
Which that's not fun. The one that has 2 down votes and 1 vote. Now the real game begins. These suck. What?
You know, the last week you made a comment about how Bruce or Batman, like, he's funny. He makes his one-liners and everything. Talking about the bank guard when he takes the hearing aid, he's like, gonna have to borrow this. Hey, that's my hearing aid. And then he turns around and says, thanks. And then goes, like, just the delivery of it is great.
Let's see. I did like the line, it's not a joke or anything, but Alfred, when he says, young men with a mind for revenge need little encouragement. They need guidance. You, above all, should know the consequence of the life you choose. It's like, burn! Got him.
Got him.
Oh, yeah. You've broken into our hideout. You've violated the sanctity of our lair. For this, we should crush your bones into powder. However, you pose a very interesting proposition. Therefore, heads, we accept. And tails, we blow your damn head off. Like Tommy Lee Jones, his lines were read very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoyed how they were read.
Yeah. So here's his line at the end. The last thing that he says is, "Yes, of course, you're right, Bruce. Emotions are always the enemy of true justice. Thank you. You've always been a good friend." That line makes sense for Two-Face. That line does not make sense for this Two-Face.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Oh, I do like, hey, Two-Face, show me how to punch a guy. Oh, it's dead simple, my boy. Ball up the fist, reach way back, and assert yourself. And then he punches him out. He's like, all right, that looks like fun. Let me try. And ball up the fist, reach way back, and assert. Oh. And it's just really funny to watch that scene because Tommy Lee Jones is doing a lot of like visual gags with it. Mm-hmm. And he's really concerned about Riddler's hand. I'm trying to think. All I can think of right now is Joygasm.
Do they say that?
Yeah, he says that after he destroys the Batcave, he's like, Joygasm.
He totally does.
And for whatever reason, that is the line that's been like stuck in my head. And I'm like, it's not even a good line. It's just there. That's very much Jim Carrey improving. And that, that's how it is.
Yeah. I need a name. Batboy, Nightwing. I don't know. What do you think? What's a good sidekick name? How about Dick Grayson, college student?
Yeah. That's really good. After Edward's boss is killed, he said, why? Oh, why? I can't believe 2 years working in the same office. He was like a father, my brother, or a cousin who visits all the time. And then the executive's like, get a grip, Edward. And then he goes, I found this in my cubicle. You'll find the handwriting matches his exactly, and as does sentence structure and spelling. I was like, hey, guys, that's called a red flag. You guys should really pay attention to it. Ah, shit. I think I remember. Oh, God. It's the last riddle. Crap. I don't know if it's in here. But it's, so they solve it, and then Alfred quips, and he goes, sir, you are quite good at this. You are quite clever, despite what everyone says. And I was like, God damn, Alfred, what a bitch. Such a good line. 1, to your boss. 2, to the son you've adopted. Like, what does it say?
It's here. It's so they're trying to figure it out. Perhaps 1 and 8 are 18. 18 is R, MRE, Mr. E, mystery, blah, blah, blah. And then Bruce says, Mr. E, Nigma, Edward Nigma. Stickley's suicide was obviously a computer-generated forgery. And Alfred says, you really are quite bright, despite what people say.
And that just makes me think, it's like, Alfred fucking knew this from the start.
Also, makes me wonder if in the previous movies, some of the reviews that they got back was, this Bruce.
Oh, if they're talking to the fans?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so good. That line just, it hits so well. He says it so deadpan. Like, everything's good about it. Oh, man. Any other lines?
No.
Joygasm. And now we transition into the review rewind. No, I'm not going to do it. We take a look at a positive review, a negative review, see where we fall. Metacritic, 50. So this movie is very hated.
Yeah.
Metacritic, 54%. Rotten Tomatoes 39%. Rotten Tomato audience 33%. IMDb audience 5.4.
Yikes.
And this one that I gave you is an 80 from the Dallas Observer. It is the highest rated one I could find. So go for it.
All right. Dallas Observer 80. Unlike Burton, Schumacher doesn't let his stylistic and thematic fascinations run away with him. He keeps one hand on the wheel at all times. The result isn't an emotionally daring and visually outrageous as Burton at his best, but it's better paced and more consistently entertaining from one sequence to the next. Yeah, I think
I thoroughly disagree. So the last sentence, let's look at this. The result isn't as emotionally daring or visually outrageous as Burton at his best, but it's better paced and more consistently entertaining from one sequence to another. And here's what I would say. I agree with the latter, not the prior. I think this is more visually outrageous, honestly.
I think what they're saying is
like keeping to the gothic-y darkness.
Every element of Tim Burton's movies is Tim Burton.
Right.
This one felt like it had parts
of Schumacher, but still parts of just like a movie.
Yeah. And some of the visuals didn't fully develop into other visuals.
Right.
And so it wasn't like every moment you felt like, yes, this is the visual language that's being used.
Got you. That does make more sense. Yeah, that's apt. 20% from Time Magazine. The only thing Schumacher and his scrupulous craftsfolk forgot to give the movie was life. The energizing spirit of wit and passion that makes scenes work and characters breathe. I would say the biggest downfall to the movie is something to this notion, and it is mostly the development sometimes feels rushed and or forced, and you never really have a moment to sit with a character, which is detrimental as a whole to really creating a fully fledged character. But, I mean, 20. Come on.
20 is pretty low.
Yeah.
So this one is interesting in regard to how to rate it. I feel like this is the first one that I kind of have a what's my personal audience rating and my critical rating. And I think those differ where like the past two, I feel pretty good from both perspectives on those. This one I feel like does have a bit of a split from the critical and the audience perspective.
We gave the original Batman a C, right?
Yeah. I'm pulling. Yeah, we gave it a C, and we gave Batman Returns a B minus.
Here's what I would say, and I think I'm pretty confident in this. This is a C plus, all around. And I say that because objectively, from the first one, the thing that carries the movie is Jack Nicholson. And the overarching idea of it was the first Batman in that way. But as a whole, the pacing sucked. The visuals were lackluster. Bruce and Batman were lackluster. It had a lot of issues, but the good things carried it enough to be a C. This movie has a shit ton of great stuff in it. It just wasn't put together in the best way. So all that stuff carries it, but the stuff that, you know, the editing, the lack in writing for certain characters, the willingness to let certain actors be themselves rather than the character, that draws it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And really, this movie could have the potential to be like if there was a really good edit of the movie and a retinkering with who Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones played and a retinkering of Bruce's dilemma, I think this movie would have been a B plus easy. But
yeah,
it's so dragged down from the faults that a C plus feels okay. Like I like this movie way better than the original, but it's objectively not as good a movie as Batman Returns. Like Batman Returns is a good movie. Like it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident as well. I like C plus feels good. It feels like the progress that was made from Batman to Batman Returns, like they continued some of that trajectory. Yeah, but in continuing that, they lost some.
Which we do know. Things. We do know that some of that was at the fault of the studio and people who are not movie makers, but people who are trying to make a buck. And when you're trying to make a buck, you are going to drag a movie down. You're going to drag a good movie down. Like I said from previous ones, when I did the Summer of Star Wars, Last Jedi is really, really, really good, but is thoroughly dragged down by the studio's decisions to uphold, whether it's, the Jedi or whatever Disney wants them to uphold, that Rian Johnson was bucking at. This movie felt like it was going in a direction that bucked the studio and maybe even like Tim Burton, but then had to get reframed to, one, be a more child-friendly movie, even though I wouldn't show this to my kids. Like, like when they're 13, like PG-13, that's fine. That's fine. The sexuality is not so bad. Like, and none of the content in this movie is too mature. You know what I mean? Like the previous one, we were saying we would give this a more stricter rating, not because there was anything gratuitous, but the content itself is a little too heady for maybe a younger audience. This one, there was not an ounce of that. Everything was pretty digestible as far as content, story-wise. The things that made it maybe hard to digest were the things that were lacking in it, not that there was too much as far as the headiness or deepness of the content that they were trying to express. But yeah, probably my kids will wait. We'll wait a little.
Wait.
Now we'll see where we fall for the next one. I dread it because I know it's bad. There's no doubt about it. I know it's bad.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was bad. But I feel like I don't remember how bad it is, and that's what's going to get me. Like, I'm going to get caught off guard by it, be like, son of a bitch, this is really bad.
Yeah. I already have thoughts that, like, I want to express now, but I need to save them for later.
Yeah. Yeah. So, C+, this one, it has so much potential in it to be a really, really good movie. Val Kilmer is fantastic, and it's a shame that he wasn't given just a little more development and surrounded by a really good movie. It makes me wonder so much how different the other two movies would have been if it was Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you mentioned the "let's get nuts" line. I wonder if that would happen if it wasn't Michael Keaton. Because that feels like a very Michael Keaton line. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know. And then he does not come back. I mean, good. I feel like if what is it? Dr. Monroe didn't destroy his his career for a little while. If he had returned for Batman and Robin, that certainly would have. Because I think that's, what is it? The Island of Dr. Monroe? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Moreau, yeah.
Moreau, yeah. That's some weird ass shit. Alrighty. I think that's it. I think we're good. I think that's the show. Why not? Son of a bitch. Alrighty. It was closer. It was the closer button. That's the only reason I did it. Anyway, thanks for watching this movie with me, Tristan. And thank you, audience, for listening to us banter about a movie that could have been better. I don't know. Anyway, we'll be back. Tristan, will you be back?
I'll be back.
Awesome. Good. Well, listeners, remember, review those rewinds, and we will see you next time. I really didn't know how to end this.